Hello, creative friends. It's time for another real-time art journal creation. And I want to start by showing you how I select my pages and papers. So I wanted to create a greenish kind of green with pink, purplish flowers. I kind of like those colors together. So I had these three pieces. These kind of go well with it too. And then I basically just rummage through my stash here, rip out some pieces that speak to me. This is yellow. I don't want yellow. I want green, so I'm looking for green. Just some green with some purple. I just rip it out. More green. How about this? Yep. Oh, some green in here. Take that. Here's some more pink. Let's take that. Do we need some more pink? Maybe we do. And we need some more green. Oh, look at that. I like that. And sometimes I rip out too much, but then I just put it back in my stash. And sometimes I don't have enough, and then I need to go back in. So I don't, I do this quite fast. I don't really get, and I don't even look what sometimes I'm looking at like this woman with a book. Yeah, maybe I want to take her, but I don't want all of her. And maybe she will be used and maybe she won't. And then I have this from the pages that I had created. Yeah. Let's see. It's just all about how your creative inner child goes, ooh, I like that. Like, oh, I like this. Boom. That's it. So I'm going to put that stash away. And then I basically look at what I have, and I tend to still rip a little bit of pieces apart because this is too big. And I usually start kind of with the darkest color. So that would be either this or this. And then I just start gluing. And I don't want to think about any of the composition. Look, this is upside down. I don't care. I just start gluing. And the darkest for me always goes at the bottom corners. So I do want to, and I rip while I paint or while I glue. I want to have this down here. And I basically just listen to what my inner voice tells me, or doesn't tell me, just urges me to do. And it kind of says, rip this and glue that, and just put it here, take another one, glue that on the other side. Hop. And so that's that. The lady I will save for later. Now I have these flowers to start with, so I'm just going to glue them on there, and I'm using my Prit stick. And I want to put one on the other side as well. And I do want to add some of this brighter pink. Maybe I want three. I like threes. So one there. And one here. Kind of like spread them out all over the place. And then I have this kind of wrapping craft paper. And I want to put that here. And that one on the other side. Let's see, the succulents, they were already here. They're too yellow, see? And so here, I like this. So I want to put that here. And then I'm going to put the other one on the other side. And this is how fast I work. I really do this really fast because this is just the bottom layer. And somebody asked me recently, what's the point? And you will see that later when I continue. What's the point in putting all this down when you later cover it up again? Well, it never really gets covered entirely. And these pieces serve as background and shapes that will later be discovered when I start painting, and they will start talking to me. And so this one I don't want to glue upside down. So yeah, do I want this woman? No, she's too red. This, no. Yeah, maybe I do want this one. Maybe I'm gonna. Sometimes I think a little bit, but not too much, because she might not stay. She might get covered up. Some of these things do get covered up. So I spread this over both pages. And there we go. And so now I take my Titan Buff, which is like, this is the thicker one. It also comes in more liquid version. For today, I want to use the thicker version. And I just use one of these to, and you can use a credit card. What I do is I try to put that Titan Buff on the paper. So not necessarily where I glued things, at least not at first. I do cover some of it, as you can see. I want to connect the pieces together and make it a more coherent look. Give it a more coherent look. And basically cover, not all, but a lot of the white that's left. So it already starts creating some shapes of what the marks that I make here with the, I can't think about the name of this thing. That's when I try to think while you paint. That doesn't work, Miranda. That's why painting is so much fun. It kind of like disconnects you from your thinking brain. I don't know what it is called. When I stop painting, maybe it'll come. I was going to say spatula, but it's not a spatula. Anyway, doesn't matter. You know what I mean. One of these. Does it say on there? I don't know. Whatever. That thing. But you can use, you can use a credit card. It does the same. It's just a bit larger. So here's the credit card. That's the Titan Buff face. And close this. I do want to add some of those. I want to enhance a little bit the pink. So I have fluorescent magenta from Golden, which is kind of liquidy too. And I'm just gonna use my finger and put some dots. I love how this color pops, and maybe I want to add a little bit of this, and maybe I want to do a little bit of that. This is a feather brush, and just to add some, and again, like just a little bit all over, not too much because it's quite neon-y bright, but these dots or shapes will come out later when I start painting. And I want to start with the darkest color that I have chosen. This is turquoise phthalo, which is see-through-ish when you thin it down with a little bit of water, but it covers quite well when it's used without water. And I take a little brush. This one has suffered a lot already. It used to be like, a little bit askew, but now it's kind of like all over the place. I don't care. And so I add a little bit of water, and then I usually start in a corner. I usually start to create the base, which is in the corner for me, and usually do that on the other side too, to sort of create not a frame, but like a dark start. And then I might already, like here, like that underneath, I might already start adding some shapes when the fancy takes me. I can see some shapes here. They're always the same shapes. My shapes are always kind of like floral anyway. Now I have to pay attention here because that neon color is not dry yet at certain spots. So I might just take a bit of paint out, because when you mix this, it'll not be a pretty color. Or it might be, but oh, look, there's a heart shape. See, this is when I start to see shapes. Can you see this heart shape here? Let me get up to see if you can see that. Yeah. See, there's two round bits at the top, and then it kind of goes down here. Shall I go with a heart? Sure. Why not? Let's go with this. Maybe it'll turn into a flower. But see what I mean? I start seeing these shapes, and then I cover what's around it so that that shape then materializes. And sometimes these shapes stay and sometimes they don't. And that's fine. Where else? I'm just going to continue here. And, I might just keep this octagonal thingy. There's a little thing here that I want to keep. And I just let my brush kind of move without, guiding it too much. And sure, I'm covering up a lot, but I'm also keeping a lot. So this lady I don't want to cover up, so maybe I will just go around her for now. And maybe she will turn into something else later. I don't need this bit. And I want to go around dark with her here, so I'm using it, the paint without too much water. And then look, I see, there's a shape here that's kind of like flower leafy. And then, maybe I want some more water now. Cover this a little bit. Do you want to keep that? So yeah, I just play and see how see-through it. Whoops, that was some white on it. If I use it with water, it is see-through-ish. So I covered it, but it's still, you can still see the pink. And sometimes when there's a lot of white, I might, use some dark spots and dots. And if I do that on one side, I always want to do that on the other side, just so that the eye doesn't get confused, because now it kind of goes, oh yeah, there's two things. And then it kind of travels around. Let's see, what else do we have? Got some writing here. I'm going to cover that up. And here I might want to do not all of the paint. And usually I listen to music, but if I do that, then the video will just be copyrighted. And so I record these without music. So yeah, when you do this, try to be playful and enjoy what you're doing and not worry about the outcome. I think that's the biggest secret for what I do. Well, not secret, but the best tip that I can give you is to do not try to have a certain outcome. This is all, consider it fun and play and practice. And the more you practice and, try things, look, like the heart. I didn't really want to do it, but I was like, why not? I saw the heart. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. So I do that. And again, maybe it might turn into something else later or might stay. I don't know. I'm just going with that flow, that playful state, and I'm letting the brush lead my hand. You know, the creative inside of me just kind of says, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to keep this. See, now I want to cover that, and I just want to keep that one. And do I want to keep these down here? I don't know yet. So, and then I still want to frame this. So here we kind of have these flower shapes. Let's see. Cover this a bit darker. And so add a little bit of, you know, lighter parts next to darker parts. Don't cover up everything immediately and just play. We don't play enough. We do it as kids naturally, and we just invent all sorts of, you know, stories and games, and then we become adults and go to school, or we become bigger kids and go to school, and then we become adults and then it's all gone. And so now I'm using, I still had some of this on my palette. It's green gold from Golden. So that's really a very, very pretty color that I really love. And because I want to add another kind of green to the palette, and I might, again, not thinking too much, just add some, whoops, there was some pink in there. Just add some areas. Still not looking, just creating, what this does, it creates, what do you call it? I don't know. What does it create? Diversity. Different colors create diversity in painting and in life. And I love how many parallels there are always with painting and life. The lessons in painting are always very, very close to the lessons in life. And I'm not touching these yet because they're still not dry, but otherwise I would have already added some of that green gold there. Maybe I'll just add it here and see what that, yeah. Right. This is usually, now I've covered, like I've connected all the pieces that I glued down. This is usually when I stand up and look at it from above to see what's going on. Like there's dark here, there's dark here, and there's some dark here, some dark down here. These pieces are still too light. The heart, yeah, it's nice. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't like this big blotch there, so I'm going to water down some of it and maybe even integrate it a little bit more. It was too light-ish for my taste, and I'm going to add a little bit more dark here. And a little bit more dark here. What do I want to do? Maybe I want to keep the heart. I kind of like it. Not so sure about the lady. Let's water her down. So maybe she might disappear. That's fine. Let's make her disappear a little bit. And now I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Oh no. And that's fine. You know, at some point something else will speak to me. And sometimes there are areas that you need to leave alone for a while. So this lady is gone now. I mean, I know she's there, and yes, I covered her up, but she did serve a purpose. I don't know what that is yet, but I will find that out when I continue to paint. So now I want to kind of cover this up, and see, she's still there, and maybe, yeah, I don't know what I'll do with that. Meh, I don't care. There is kind of a flower here. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And when I used to give classes in the beginning, people would talk a lot. And then after a while, once they really got into the flow, silence would arrive. And that's when I was like, yes, that's where I want them to be. When the silence arrives, that means that the brain, the thinking brain, has shut off and the creative brain has started to work. And that's kind of what any creative activity is. So now I'm just like guiding my brush somewhere, as long as it has paint on it. And I might take a tissue now to wipe. Because normally when I do this myself, I have time to let this dry before I continue. But for the purpose of this video, I need to show you. Oops. And look, now I ripped part of that page with me. And for some people that could be devastating, but it's not. I'll just cover it. And it didn't. Did it? No, see? I just cover it and it's like it was never there. So I do want to cover these pink ones a little bit because they are very present. So maybe like this a little bit. This one is too present as well for me. Those are fine. And this one maybe a little bit. Now see here, now I'm going to sit down again. I have this shape here, which I really like. So I'm taking my brush and take the dark color, but not with a lot of water, just basically dry. And I'm kind of like looking for what this shape kind of wants to do. And where else do we have shapes? I need some more paint. I might take a brush that's a bit thinner, like this one, because I kind of want to go up here, and it's kind of like a diamond shaped something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Still don't know what to do with the lady yet. I think I want to. I don't know what I want. Here's more shapes that I like. And sometimes it's time to bring out some pens to bring some lighter or darker pieces. So these are acrylic markers from Shuttle Art. I made a video about that some time ago. They're really nice. They come in different kind of sets. This is a 3-layered one with lots of colors. I really like them. I use this, or I use the Posca pens that are ivory colored or white to make little marks like this on the dark spots. That kind of really works very well. And I might just, randomly create shapes or just randomly create dots. But what I saw earlier, where was that? Yeah, it's gone now. So I'm just gonna continue this a little bit. So much fun, it's so relaxing. And then maybe I want to give them a little, no, maybe they're just little tiny flowers like that. And there you go. So I don't know what the lady does, but I want to make this shape around here. And yeah, that was this one here that I really liked as well. And I think this one needs lines in it. Look at how gorgeous that turns out. Now I'm going to take that all the way down. There. So yeah, and here at this stage, I am already looking at details that I can find, but I'm also still open to whatever speaks to me when I kind of scan the page. And I might you know, take some, let's see, some, what is this color? They don't have names, they just have numbers, these things. And I wanted to see what this does if I kind of add lines to here. Because what was just a shape before then becomes a flower. You don't see it very well on video, but it'll turn out very nicely on the photo. And yeah, I add things to shapes, I create marks, I make flowery shapes, and sometimes that woman still bothers me a little. Maybe she's kind of like stuck in there. I don't want her to be stuck in there, so I will let her go. So if you have something that you are not happy with, this is the great thing about acrylics. You just take a color and you just cover it up. Or you use the shape and turn it into something. And I don't know where this one wants to go, but see how she's gone now, but there's still some of it there. And now I have to get up to see what that then. Ooh, now that kind of creates a cave, doesn't it? See, now that I stood up, I'm like, okay, so this cave, it kind of needs to continue. It's not enough. And I might not cover all of it, but I might lightly brush over some areas so to create some nuance. But I do want to see how this is covered a little bit now, but not too much. And yeah, I think I want to take that cave a little, kind of went a little further. See now that cave, yes, I like it. And that's what happens, you know, you create something and then you get up and then you're like, oh, but see now I want to continue that cave or background or whatever you want to call it, and add more darkness down here as well, and then those dots will pop even more. Yeah, this kind of needs to go too. So some of the areas are still there, as you can see, and are now part of that cave, if it is a cave at all. So there we go. Now I have some movement here, right? I have something, and then it's kind of, it has a border with this flower, which kind of brings that flower to the front. And I think it needs to go even lower now. I need some more paint. Kind of needs to go all the way down here. So it kind of like dribbles down here, kind of drips, you know, like these stalagmites and stalactites that go down in a cave. You kind of see them. Yeah, and I'm gonna let that one go. And I'm gonna let that one go as well. It's still kind of there, but I want to let it go. And so now we have the border of that cave, or the entrance of that cave. And I kind of like that. So let's really nuance that border next to that lighter line here. There we go. Yeah, so that's like, I like that. I don't know what it is, but I like it. And that's the other thing that I want to stress is you're the artist. You create whatever you want to create. and nobody else has to like it. And if you're saying it's done, then it's done because you're the artist. And so it's a very hard lesson to not listen to what other people have to say about your art. Because everybody sees something else. I once made a painting, and that was actually when I started learning it. I once made a painting that had all sorts of circles, and it was kind of blue, and it had like red variation of circles, red, orange. And when there were two different people, and one of them said, "Oh, that looks like planets and the universe," and I was like, "Yeah." And then another person came by and was like, "Oh, they look like pizzas," and I was like, "Yep." Because whatever people see is what they see, and who am I to tell them no, there's a deeper meaning behind what I created. If they see pizzas or planets, so be it. Whatever the artist thought doesn't really matter. Art is liked by people because they personally have a connection to it, and you shouldn't ruin that, I think. So whatever it is that you see here, that's why I like to sometimes when my little botanical worlds are a bit wild, I ask people, what do you see? And I get the funniest or the most diverse answers, which always fascinates me. It's like, oh wow, yeah. And sometimes people see things and you're like, oh, I didn't even notice. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So see, now I'm slowing down. I'm really kind of looking at details hmm, where do I want to add something more? I added a little shape there. Uh, this is kind of still a little bit wild. This is kind of too purple for me. So I'm just going to cover it a little bit and make it a little less purple because I do want it to be a little bit more pink than purple. And I do, what do I do? I see some more of these things here in that cave. So one more here. Whatever. So now the cave is filled with these flowers, and they really pop because of the dark background. So I really, really like that. Now, we could call this finished, but I'm the artist. I don't want to call it finished yet. I do want to add a little bit, let's see. People are always afraid to use black, but I love black because it creates so much such nice contrast. Now, I do think I want to just add some dots here on this pink shape, because then that turns it into something else. Kind of like to give this one a dark border. See how they change immediately. And I don't need to do that there because that's already dark, but I might want to do it here. I'm going to do it here anyway. Even if the black will not show as much here, it's still nice to have it there. So now this kind of travels. I like that. And I'm gonna, do I want to do that with the black? I think I do. This is a, what is it? Mitsubishi. It's a Uniball. It's from Uniball I Fine Black. And here I kind of just want to add some lines to the flower and give it a base, kind of. And do the same for this one. And it's not about drawing. It's just no precise um, drawing of things. I just want to add some contrast to it, and I think I want to do that kind of here as well. There we go. See how that changes the flower? I love that. Adding some more contrast here, adding a few lines here. Yeah, and I think the heart, now that it's almost done, the heart is I kind of like the heart now. So I'm going to let it stay there. And what I probably want to add there, let's see. Yes, I think, where are they? I might want some letters. I might want to add some letters here that say love, if I can find them. Where are my letters? See, that wasn't prepared. I had most of the things prepared, but not the letters. So I have a whole stash of quotes and writings in all sorts of languages. And when I don't find the quotes that I want, I print them on either see-through or white sticker paper. But I had these. Now I don't know if there is still enough letters to make the word love. Yes, there is. So I'm gonna do, oops, that was two L's. L, and then this O here, and then the V, and which E should I take? Do I want this one, or do I want, let's see, is this one a nice one to use? No, I do want a big one. So this one. So yeah, so this has now become a cave and a very colorful love painting. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about this process or what I used, I try to, each time I use something, to tell you what it is that I use, but I might have missed one or two when I was painting. So yeah, I might still, like go in and add a little bit of dots or whatever somewhere to just create some depth. But this is more or less done now. So I want to stop the video here so you can enjoy it. And I hope this inspires you to start creating yourself. And if you have any questions or get stuck, let me know. So I'll leave you with that. Happy creating.